Welcome to Borderline Furniture. I'm Mara, and this is project number 47. This is the Summerween Thrift Flip Challenge, which is hosted by the Flippin' Bunch. The goal? Flip 3 thrifted items for under $25 using a Summerween theme. I bought this chair for $1.99. The drawers were salvaged, and although I originally planned to use the paper mache pumpkin, I ended up buying a cracked flower pot for $4 from the garden center, which keeps me well under budget. The chair and the drawers had been sitting in my garage for well over 2 years, so I gave them a thorough cleaning. The chair had a glossy finish, so I had to scuff sand it heavily. I thought about leaving it distressed, but I wanted a cleaner look to highlight the sugar skull design. The drawer prep took more effort. These came from a desk that the local thrift store was going to throw away. They were too long for my project, so I trimmed one with the radial saw and the other with the skill saw, since it was too tall for the radial saw. I removed the old handles and glued pieces of dowel rod in the hole since I wasn't going to use them. I'm using my new cutting tool, which works great for dowel rod. To create the stacked drawer effect, I glued one drawer on top of the other and then clamped them in place. While the glue was drying, I sanded the dowels flush with the surface of the drawer fronts. Does anyone else ever have trouble with the glue drying in the glue top? I give up. I'm going to use my finger, which is the old-fashioned method. If you have any hacks for this, please, please, please let me know in the comments. I'll need to reinforce the bottom of the drawer to support the legs for this planter box. Each drawer had cutouts for the drawer glides that needed to be filled. I used Bondo as the filler. I've had this chair a while and the seat was cracked, so I'm salvaging the legs for my planter. This was easier said than done, and after 10 minutes of hammering, I only freed 2 legs. The last 2 legs were wedged in the sawhorse and pried apart. Prying this chair apart even broke my sawhorses, but my BFF was able to put them back together. I filled the holes of the chair legs with Bondo and scuff sanded the entire surface of each leg. And finally, it was time to insert the legs to see if this crazy planter idea was going to work. And of course, I'm still having problems with the glue bottle, so if you have any hacks, please let me know in the comments. I purchased this can of Magnolia chalk paint at my local Habitat for Humanity for just $5. As memory serves, I've seen this paint at Lowe's. I didn't purchase it because it's more expensive than my favorite brand, which is Behr Paint. So I was pretty happy to find it at my local Habitat for Humanity so I could give it a try. The paint consistency seemed thinner than my go-to brand, and it seemed strange to me that I kept having to thin it in order to get it through my paint sprayer. All in all, the surface came out good and the paint dried just fine and there were no issues. After a 24-hour dry time, I sealed the paint using Behr polyacrylic in matte. I am really not ready for fall colors, so I decided to go with this sugar skull theme using vibrant colors on a black background. I purchased this stencil from Amazon. Initially, there was an issue with too much spray adhesive sticking to the surface of this chair, and I had to repaint it. Stenciling started out fun, but after several layers of paint and 3 projects, it became tedious. I had the strangest experience with the paints. I purchased neon tempera paints, which didn't work at all, and honestly, I kind of expected that. And then folk art chalk paints, which worked a little bit better, but they weren't vibrant. I ended up mixing the neon and the folk art paints with white magnolia chalk paint. As the paint dried, it looked like it was being absorbed by the black base coat. The remedy? Repeated application. And for those who don't know, Summerween was started by an episode in the animated show Gravity Falls, where a town celebrates Summerween with jack-o'-melons, spooky decorations, and trick-or-treating in the middle of summer. If you've never heard of Summerween before this, don't feel bad. I never heard of it either. But you can bet that my kids knew all about it. After the second application, my stencil had a thick layer of spray adhesive which would not come off, even after using Goo Be Gone and alcohol. I decided to create my own stencil using my silhouette cutter for the last applications. This worked out well since I only needed a few small pieces for the drawer fronts and I was able to cut them out. Once I met somebody who told me that I needed to save my stencils so that I could reuse them. There's no way I'm reusing this stuff. I'm hoping she was talking about some other type of stencil medium. Yay, here's my third and final project, this little pot that I got at Lowe's for $4 because it had a crack in it. I'm using the same Magnolia chalk paint that I used on the chair and the planter. And I'm sealing it with, again, bare polyacrylic in matte. Again, I'm applying the stencil that I created using my silhouette cutter. This stencil material actually lends itself better to this curved surface than the stencil that I purchased at Amazon, which is really thick. And although it is just a one-time use, you get a better and cleaner stencil from this material. After cleaning up a little bit of the overspray above the skull, I'm ready to seal this project. I'm using bare polyacrylic and matte as the final seal for the stenciled designs. With the addition of these amazing rose door pulls purchased from Hobby Lobby, this project is complete. Just a reminder of the chair and the drawers prior to the transformation, and here is the final reveal. Of Project 47, and I'd like to thank the ladies of the Flippin' Bunch for this Summerween challenge. For more great Summerween ideas, just click on the playlist below. Your likes and comments are always appreciated, and as always, thanks for watching.